And fast forward again, I'm in the Navy now and we're stationed. We had been traveling around. I was getting training. Anyway, I get stationed in Denver, Colorado, attending school there, and it was about a year, the period of time for the training. So we rented an apartment, a duplex, and if you bear with me for a moment, I'll explain that. We had a nun living on the other side of the duplex, a Catholic nun in Denver, Colorado. It was actually Aurora, Colorado on the east side. And we got to know her a little bit, but I was busy in school, a lot of studying and what have you. Again, fast forward, I made friends with my classmates, got to know their families, their wives. We had two couples over on a Friday night. We watched the movie. Actually, we weren't planning on it. The movie just came on. Oh God, George Burns. And that's what started it all. One of the ladies, one of my friends, Doug Blue, that's his real name. By the way, the nun's name, Sister Alice. So Doug Blue's wife, Linda Blue, she was a Church of Christ, let's just say Christian, and she attended the Aurora, Colorado Church of Christ. And during the movie, she started just making comments about, well, that's not really in the Bible, they're not really correct here. And again, because in the interest of time, I have to move quickly, Karen became really interested in what Linda Blue had to say, and she was really hungry for the Word. So Linda, being the good Christian that she was, great example, started studying with Karen, and then Karen got involved with the Christian ladies, a study group, if you will, and so they're studying the Bible, and I'm like, okay, whatever, we're going to be out of here in a few months, and this will be forgotten. Well, Karen was really, like I said, very hungry for the Word, so the studies continued. They were more frequent, and she got to know some of the people in the Aurora Church of Christ, and I'm like, she's gone off the deep end. I got to do something about this. So I go next door, and I knock on Sister Alice's door. Remember, this is a duplex. And so I tell her the story, and I said, I need some help, and can we study? Well, she set up some study times. I think I was over there twice a week or what have you. I don't remember exactly. But we weren't really studying the Bible. We were studying, Catholic ways, catechism, and Karen was about to get baptized, and I'm like, I was really upset. So I said, in desperation, I said, can you please come over to Sister Alice? We're going to, hear another viewpoint, if you will. And so she agreed. She came over, and so we had a couple of studies with Sister Alice, and Karen was like, you got to be kidding me. She started challenging Sister Alice, show me book, chapter, and verse. And things really went downhill because Sister Alice said, the end of the world's coming this spring. This was like, by that time it was November of 1975, I think. The end of the world's coming. I'm not sure how I'm doing on time here. I'm trying to go fast. Karen said, that's it. She gets baptized, and I'm not a happy camper. And she came back, and she put Sister Alice in her place in a nice way, but Sister Alice said, you're demon possessed. True, this is true. Anyway, so I finally came around. I guess it was, I want to say early the following year, 1976, I got baptized in the Aurora Church of Christ. Harold Turner was the preacher. You may or may not know of Harold. He's probably long gone. Anyway, fast forward, I get stationed on the USS Enterprise aircraft carrier in San Francisco Bay. We lived in Novato, California, and Karen we had our two boys, Joey and Ryan. We didn't have Natalie yet, and we didn't know a soul. We'd never been to California, so Karen was devastated, and I guess the point I'm trying to make there is this was the Lord's blessing, because aircraft carrier, Hayes Gray underway. I was gone all the time. One of my deployments was 9 months long, and the other deployments were, anywhere from 2 weeks to 3 months. And even when we were in port, long days, fighting the San Francisco traffic, I was rarely ever home. So we became members at the Novato Church of Christ, very loving church, much like this. They took Karen and the 2 boys under her wing. They have a great ministry with the San Quentin prison, and just a great congregation. When I was home, we always hung around with them on weekends, and I'm sorry about the time. I don't know how I'm doing, but anyway, so I'm off at sea, but I'm not worried about Karen because she's in good hands with that congregation. Now, on the Enterprise, there's 5,000 sailors, almost 6,000 with the Air Wing. Well, I find out there's a Church of Christ on board. In fact, one of the members was actually an elder in the Millington, Tennessee Church of Christ. His name is Don, and we met regularly every Sunday, and we also met for Bible study. We didn't have anything else to do. We're at sea, so have plenty of time on our hands, even though we worked long days. And so I had, my brothers right there on the ship, and it was great. When we went into port, we hit Australia and Philippines, Hawaii, Japan, Africa. I think there were 24 of us, a couple dozen of us. We hung around together, and we had more fun than half the sailors on the ship hitting bars or what have you. Sailors do have a reputation. We took in the countryside. We went to people's homes, Christian homes, and it was just wonderful. So it was a real blessing to me as well. So that's my story. We were really blessed. The timing was just perfect, especially for Karen, because it would have just been awful for her. In fact, she wanted to go home to live with her parents. They were still alive at the time, back on the East Coast where we were from. And that would have been difficult for me because then I wouldn't have seen them I think I was on the Enterprise for 3 years. So at least this way, I got to see her when we were in port. But being a Christian has been wonderful, and I'm thankful for my family here. Thank you for all you do. So I believe that's it. Thank you.